No, that's not.
Good, we're here. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming. Good to see y'all.
Thanks for having us.
Nice little spring break. Kyle won't be able to make it tonight. We're signing away.
Lots of.
Not yet. Stop talking. We do have Ian here, though. Ian Corrier. We had a couple sessions earlier for our employees. For them to listen to some potential options for health insurance. First and foremost would make it easier on them and maybe as the town as a whole as it develops. But I'll give you the floor here. This is for the third time today, so.
Now, do you want me to I know you want me to just be brief. Should we cut to the chase? I know everybody's heard it already.
We've heard it.
Do you want me
is
to?
there any, there's a couple other employees here that need to hear it.
No, the goal was.
Here, but you can give me the abbreviated version.
Okay.
The goal was to have this session for the town board and for it to be recorded.
Okay.
So that any employees that couldn't make it earlier today could check it out.
Okay.
But for the, you do a great job. I mean, dive into the bullet points, I guess, right?
All right. So, why I'm here is we have an opportunity. Well, okay. So I've been giving the same presentation for 11 years. The request is health insurance premiums are going up. How do we reduce costs? So this is an informational session on how you reduce costs. We can't negotiate the rates because you have less than 100 employees. The state sets the rates. You have to change plans. So what we're talking about is moving to, let me see, I put some of those away because I didn't know there was going to be that many. What we're talking about, anybody else? You guys already have copies. It's
No, I don't think I appreciate that.
So the plan furthest to the left is your current plan, and you have all kinds of copays on it. Let me get a copy out for myself here. So you have all these copays. You're either a 10 or 25% employee based on your time here, employee agreement. There's nobody in the 15. Your current plan, you have all these copays, depending on what you're going in for. And you're paying these premiums or your payroll deduction amounts each pay period. We're considering going or offering the bronze plan, which is furthest to the right, yellow box. The first thing is the payroll deduction amounts are less. Okay? The other thing is, on your current plan, like I said, you have copays and you can pay up to $5,000 or $10,000 out of pocket in copays. You have an $8,500 deductible, $17,000 if you're not a single, on the bronze plan, but the town would be funding 100% of the in-network deductible of $8,500 and $17,000. So from an employee standpoint, the bronze plan will have lower payroll deductions, and you'll have no out-of-pocket costs in-network when you actually use the plan. So that's the two real benefits of the bronze plan. Now, I'll leave these behind. This is a comparison of the three plans. We have a gold plan too, which we don't have many people on. I'll give you guys a copy of that. Platinum plan's furthest to the left, bronze plan's furthest to the right. I hand that out so that you can see all the benefits that are covered. And when you go line by line, you're going to see there's no benefits that are not covered by the bronze plan that are covered by the platinum plan. It's just how they're covered that's different. So, the biggest difference is you're not going to have copays. All right, you're going to have everything that's not a preventive service subject to the deductible, just like on the gold plan now. The town's going to pay Here, let me give this also. This will accompany what we're talking about. There you go. So we'll go through this because this will kind of walk us through how the bronze plan would work. And again, we're not forcing anybody into the bronze plan, not making anybody do anything. This is an informational session on how you would reduce your costs. So the bronze plan is a high deductible health plan, different than your current plan, which is a copay plan. Anybody who's a single, enroll all by themselves, would have an $8,500 deductible. Anybody who's not a single, that'd be a family, employee spouse, or employee child and children, would have a $17,000 deductible. Now, nobody would move to the bronze plan just with the health plan, so we have to have an HRA that will fund that deductible. Now, the bronze plan and the platinum plan are with Excelis, so it's the same provider network, because it's Excelis and Excelis. It's the same prescription drug formulary, because it's Excelis and Excelis. It would be, in that sheet I handed out that has all the benefits listed for the different plans, that'll show that all the benefits are covered on the platinum and the bronze plan. It's just how they're covered that's different. Instead of paying a copay like you're doing now in the platinum plan, it would be subject to the deductible on the bronze plan. But the bronze plan deductible would be funded by a town HRA. So a health reimbursement arrangement, which I put down here, but it would have town funds in it. Yes?
That, part that the town is going to fund is now not a copay, but if I go to the doctor and my doctor's visit's $150 and it costs me $20 or $30 in the copay, it's gonna cost the town $150.
So if you go to the
Because it's
third,
deductible,
exactly.
so they're paying more,
So if you go to the third page here,
so.
I'll give you an example. All right, now, your traditional plan, the platinum plan, would be over here. These are all the copays you would pay.
Yeah.
Where on a high deductible, it's the reduced negotiated rate, higher amounts. Bing, 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 bing. But these would be, whatever you're paying that's part of the deductible, you get deductible credit that would go towards the $8,500, $17,000.
Right.
And then the town is funding it with the health
Right,
reimbursement.
I understand,
But it's-
it's less
you're
for me,
paying-
but it's still costing the town that a full doctor's visit instead of just a copay visit, that's what it's
Correct.
costing.
Once you hit 8,500 or 17,000, then the insurance company picks up everything
Right,
else.
right,
So,
until we get to that
as an
high
employ-
deductible.
yep, as an employee, you'd have the first 8,500, 17,000, which the town is paying in network. And then when you, if you happen to have higher claims, the insurance company picks up everything after that. Now, yep,
I have a question though, based off of what Peter was just saying, how is this helping the town?
so the premiums are 46% less expensive. So each month, you're gonna be paying lower premiums. Right now, and I'll give you the example I gave earlier, I met with the police a couple weeks ago. You have employees on the plan that haven't gone to the doctors in 3 years. Your platinum premiums are $15,000 a year. Right now, you're giving Excelis $15,000 when nobody uses it, or some of the employees don't even use the plan. So you're paying premiums, but they're not even using the plan. The bronze plan would be 46% less expensive on the premium side. The town would keep the difference, and they would promise to reimburse up to 8,500 or 17,000. And what money isn't used, the town keeps. So we don't know what the savings is going to be the first year right off. The premium difference is about $600,000. We'd have to take some of that $600,000 to promise to fund the deductible. Now that's assuming every employee moves over. One of the things we're going to talk about, or the board will decide, is do we do platinum that we have now and the bronze as a second plan as an option. If we do that, the savings to the town will be less because less employees are going to the bronze, but there would still be savings based on what the actual HRA utilization is. We have a ton of our towns and villages that are doing this. HRA utilization is different for each group. We don't know what your HRA utilization is going to be right off because you haven't done this before, but most of the towns are 50%, some are even lower than 50%. So that's money that used to just go to Excellus, whether the employees used it or not. Now it would stay with the town, and if the employees use it, you would reimburse the employee. But if you're in that 50% range, the other 50% would stay with the town. Now maybe you're at 70 the first year, maybe you're at 30 the first year. We don't know, but what we've seen with other towns and villages similar in size, and I have that information here to give to the board. Like I said, most of them are around 50%, so that other 50% stays with the town or village as savings. And we're not going to know until the first year what our actual HRA utilization is, and we don't know, especially if we offer two plans, how many employees will go to that bronze plan. If we get everybody over there, that's where the savings is maximized for the town. If we have half of them go over, we're not going to have all the savings, but chances are not everybody on the bronze plan is going to use $8,500 or $17,000 in a year, and what they don't use stays with the town instead of just being given to Excellus like we're doing right now.
I mean, you had said earlier today when we were here that it takes the town a little while to actually start saving.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not an immediate savings by any means.
That 600,000 was based off the entire first plan year. Now, we have some groups that have done this, 15 years, 10 years, and they've saved a ton of money over that period. The first year is always the trickiest year. You got to get everybody over there, and it's going to be over the course of the year that they save money. But let's say you're at 50%. That other 50% you can then put towards next year's premium increase, towards next year's HRA, other benefits, whatever the town wants to do with that money. But over time, towns and villages who have done this aren't using 100% of the HRA, and they're saving that money each year. The employees are paying less because their 10% or 25% is of a smaller premium. They have less out-of-pocket costs. And if there's somebody like I met with at the police who hasn't used the plan in 3 years, that money will stay with the town instead of just being given to Excellus in the form of premiums, never to be seen again. Now, I'll give you an example of how a claim will work if you go to the next page here. This would be a medical claim. So when you look at that comparison I handed out with all the different benefits listed, there's prescription drug coverage. We'll talk about that next. Anything that's on that covered benefit page that's not a prescription would work this way. This is an office visit. All right, so the member goes in, seeks care. The doctor charges $100, but because you're enrolled in a private health insurance plan, Excellus has gone out and negotiated lower rates. So even though the doctor charges $100, they don't charge it with Excellus because Excellus has negotiated the lower rate. So that $100, they'll submit the claim, the doctor will submit the claim to Excellus. They reprice it. In this case, it was $60. That was their negotiated rate. You'll get $60 in deductible credit. So that $8,500, $17,000, that'd be $60 will go towards that. So you're starting to accumulate towards your deductible. Excellus sends an explanation of benefits to the doctor for $60 and you as the member for $60. And then the HRA would pay the provider directly the $60. So you just show your Excellus card, and the rest of that, as a medical claim, happens behind the scenes. If we go a couple pages back, or forward I should say, to where it says at the top, high deductible health plan claims process, oops, next one, RX. That, what I just explained is anything that's not an RX. RX is prescription. Prescription works where you go to the pharmacy, you show your Excellus ID card. The pharmacy can reprice prescriptions real time, right there at the pharmacy. So let's say it's a prescription for Ozempic is what I used in the first example, and it's $1,200. The retail price is probably $900. That would happen in real time at the pharmacy when you showed your Excellus card, and then you would have a HRA debit card to swipe to pay for the prescription, and that debit card would be funded with town dollars, not your own dollars. So those are the two ways the claims would work on a high deductible health plan with an HRA. And instead of paying copays, like we said, everything is subject to the deductible, but the town is going to be funding the deductible with an HRA, which is a health reimbursement arrangement, the third part. So that you don't have somebody here reimbursing employees and seeing everything that they use the health plan for. That's a HIPAA violation. That's why we would have the HRA to be a third party to adjudicate those claims. So, why would we consider doing this? It's lower payroll deductions for the employee. It's less out-of-pocket costs when they use the plan. And if you have employees, like most of the other towns and villages around us in the park, that don't use the plan or don't use 8,500 or 17,000, that difference would stay with the town instead of being paid to the insurance company. So I've talked about this for 11 years because other towns and villages are doing it. It's always tougher when we have a town or village with the union, which we have here. I presented to the union 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 5 years ago. It didn't really go anywhere. But I know I've already met with the police 2 weeks ago. They were all on board. Different personnel at the police department. So the next step was to meet with more employees today. That's why I'm here. Informational session. We're not signing anybody up or requiring that anybody does this. My job is to show you how you reduce health insurance costs. This would be the blueprint for how you reduce health insurance costs in New York State when you're under 100 employees and the state is setting the rates. Like I said, I can't negotiate the rates because we're under 100, the state's setting them, so we have to change plan designs to do that. One of the ladies in the second session is on a bronze plan and hates it. Why? She doesn't have an HRA to fund the deductible. She's using her personal funds, just like I'm on a high deductible using my personal funds. This is not that. This is, you're on a high deductible with a town-funded HRA to pay your deductible expenses in network. So
What makes the bronze better than the gold? Or just
the HRA.
Just,
The HRA is what changes it. And that's one of the big concerns at other municipalities. Well, wait a minute. We're going from a platinum to a bronze. I must be giving up something. You're not giving up something. It's just a less rich plan. However, how you make that better is the HRA. The HRA, you could argue, would make the bronze plan richer than the platinum plan. You could have $5,000 in out-of-pocket costs for the platinum plan if you use it, where if you stay in network on either of those plans, you wouldn't have any out-of-pocket costs on the bronze plan because the town would be funding your deductible with a town-funded HRA. And again, statistically speaking, and we don't know your group, but if you're like most of the other groups of your size, not everybody's using $8,500 or $17,000 in healthcare. Many of the younger employees aren't using it at all. So we would benefit with paying the lowest premium, letting the town keep that money as a promised reimbursement. And if the employees use it, they would be reimbursed by the town. If they don't use it because they don't go to the doctor, they're not taking expensive prescriptions, or they just don't have any health issues, the town keeps that money instead of giving it to Excellus.
and you've got a list of towns and municipalities that are currently using this and for however many
I'll
years.
give you guys a copy, and I can show you. We have a lot of clients that are currently doing this. One more copy here. And I put just together what their utilization is, because again, I don't want you guys to go into this blind.
No.
We don't know what your specific group utilization would be because you've never done this, but groups of your size, similar municipalities in the area. I'll give you an example. So like, okay, I didn't put their names, but this is a very popular plan design too. These are all groups that would have the plan that we're talking about. Town A was at 45% utilization, Town B was at 27, Town C was at 55, Town D was at 40%, Town E was at 28. Some villages are at 29, 43. And we have a couple of public sector employers that are at 49, 27. So again, you could be at 80% the first year. You're still going to save money, but you're not going to save as much as if you were at 50% or 40%. My point is that you'd be keeping more money as the town, reimbursing the employees as needed, and those employees that aren't using it, the town would be saving that money instead of just giving it to Excellus. And like I mentioned, if you look at that comparison that has the three plans and every benefit covered, if you look at the premiums, it's right there on the first page. You know, a family premium on your platinum plan is 50 grand a year. It's 16 grand for a single. You know, if you're a family not using 50 grand in healthcare, you know, this would be most likely a better option because the town's going to fund it. Whatever they don't, whatever the employee doesn't use, the town will keep, and you don't pay anything out of pocket in network.
So this might be difficult for a town to begin if the town doesn't maybe have a strong budget.
Just
because of the
trickiest.
HRA.
Just trickiest the first year. However, depending on how many people we get to go to that bronze plan, you pay a monthly premium. You know,
That's
and
not upfront.
it's not upfront, it's each month. But you're gonna be paying, let's say everybody went to the bronze plan, 46% less January on the bronze plan than the platinum plan, and you can take that 46% and put it in an HRA.
But then
Each month.
we'd have to budget because January's a heavy month. People are slipping all over the place across town.
Yeah, you always wanna
And
put
we
a
got all
little
these
more.
co-pays.
You wanna put a little more in as a town or village that first month.
Okay.
You want like, rule of thumb is about 40% of your total outlay to seed the account in January. Probably won't use that, but you want it there just like you said, just in case. And then each month, you're gonna be putting more money in. The town would get a notification weekly before they pulled the money out of the HRA. So Jenny, would get a report like on Thursday or Friday, hey, employees used $7,500 in medical claims, we're gonna pull it next Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. So you'd have some type of advance notice. So it's not just gonna be a surprise, but yes, the first year is always the trickiest year. Now, let's say you go that first year and you're at 50% utilization. Now you have 50% that's sitting in this account you can put towards next year's HRA, next year's premiums. And then it really starts to snowball but yes, the first year is always the trickiest to get it over there, get the savings, get the HRA set up. You already have an HRA on your gold plan, so we're not gonna be starting from scratch, thankfully. It's just gonna be changing the funding on it. But yes, the first year is the trickiest.
You said it was 40% of what? That the town?
The premium. So if you look at that sheet I handed out that looks like this, instead of paying this, you're paying this
Right.
each pay period. And then instead of paying $5,000 or $10,000 in co-pays in network, these are your in-network co-pays on your platinum
Touch
plan.
that.
In network would be 8,500 or 17,000, but the town would be funding that if you needed it. If you never hit 8,500,
Yeah.
you never get to the point where the insurance company's picking up the rest. It would just be funded by the town.
You would hope you wouldn't have to get there. It's a good point. I'll talk to Don here a minute. That we already budget the 1.3 million, I think, is what it was in 2026.
Correct.
So as that,
It's in the budget, right?
as it's there already, that just gets hit as the premium comes in and out. And then if we do have to make a claim or a copay or something, that would more would come out. But where would we be protected from going over that? That's when the health insurance would then take over.
Exactly. In network, you're gonna give 8,500, 17,000 as a promise reimbursement. If anybody goes above that, which,
Do some math though.
here, let me just show you here.
That's why I think the
How
first
many
year's
employees
gonna
do we
be
have on health insurance?
48.
Yeah, we asked that.
48.
48.
Some of them are under age 65 retirees. They're not all active employees, but altogether, bodies, 48 contracts.
Let's just say 48 times, what, 17? Let's say they all have the family plan, right?
Or spouse.
Anybody done this yet?
Well, I've already done it. So if you
Hit me with it. What do you got? 40?
if you open up, okay, so it's this page.
816,000.
Well, it's this page right here. So this is assuming you guys don't have this, but this is assuming every employee goes over.
That's right,
Because
you
we
gotta
said,
remember that,
yeah, this.
depending on what we do here.
Yes, yeah. So if we're assuming everybody's going over, this will be a little lower if we only get half the group. But you're at 1.4 million right now. This plan would be at 757,000. Your premium wise, it's going to be 632,415 less money over the course of a 12-month period. But you're going to have to promise the employees 8,500 or 17,000.
So we'd have to make up like $100 and something thousand, right?
I'm gonna, well, if every employee used all 8,500 and 17,000, you'd
No one
actually.
would be working.
You'd actually, yeah, nobody would be working, first
would
of
be
all.
sick.
Yeah, everybody would be in the hospital, but you'd be 5,000 worse. It could happen,
Town
but
is shut
it doesn't happen.
No, right.
But depending on where you're at, if you're 80%, you're gonna save 122,000, 60%, you're at 250,000, 40%, you're at 377,000. So it's all gonna depend on where that HRA utilization falls. But this is also assuming everybody goes over, which we may not do that. We may have the two plans, which these numbers will be less. However, there's still going to be savings.
Of some sort.
Exactly.
And over the course of our budget time, just for like, employees here, and even that, because we wanted to record it so anybody that couldn't make the sessions today could watch it. Now, this just came up because I don't know, my 4 years of budgets, Mike's done a whole bunch of them, you know, Ben and Kyle have been on for a few, and Judy's, you know,
Me, new.
thorough on it all. It's tough to sit here and have them say, hey, these are our rates, and you can't do anything about it.
And they're going up 10%.
And they're going up 10%. So
Pretty, yeah.
that's what we've had to listen to as board members. And then, you know, just recently, there was another insurance broker reached out about a consortium. Like that was something that was just thought about exploring, and you know, who knows what is this, what is that, and then this part was, let's see what this is and how this can help us with our town employees, but for the purposes of where we're at now, nothing was ever done to like move forward on without like our employees supporting it. And you know, the unions would be great to have them support it, but if our other town employees that aren't on the union don't, I think we wouldn't really be bouncing too far ahead of it.
I want to for a minute talk about a consortium. We've done this. We work with over 50 municipalities.
I saw you over there.
No, but I want to make sure we understand why this is never going to work.
Right.
No, but I want to make sure we're all.
I'd like to look at all options.
No, but I know, but I want to make sure we all, because this is, if this worked, we would be doing this with our municipal clients. You would have, so it would be a self-insured consortium, which wouldn't have the same network. It wouldn't be Excellus, Blue Cross, Blue Shield. As an insurance person, this is insane that this is what they're leading with. You're going to put, I'm going to speak statistically, actuarially speaking, municipalities are very high utilizers of healthcare. The reason why our rates are less than what they'd be in a consortium is we're lumped in with 300,000 other bodies, private sector employers, all these different players, not just municipalities. If you put municipalities together, and our office did this, I'll give you an example in a minute, you have very high utilizers in about, they want about 2,000 lives. So you have 2,000 smaller, it's a smaller pool with only municipalities, where Excellus, you're part of the largest consortium, the small group consortium with over 300,000 bodies, and it's a diverse population. Our office did this about 10 years ago because we worked with Franklin County, Essex County, St. Lawrence County, Hamilton County. We put all of them together, and the rates for that group was more expensive than each county individually to put them together. So that I can tell you won't work.
For the record, I'm not.
No,
Anyway.
but I want to make sure you understand that's something that we've considered with other municipalities, where this is something that.
Counties too, right? You bounce from county to county, you want to get as many.
Well, the other thing is, a town Webb and a consortium, you're going to be with like the city of Oneonta,
because of
bigger. You're not going to have a whole lot of say in plan design, contributions, a lot of that. There's a lot more challenges and
This is like the greatest perk of our employment here, our workforce, is our health insurance.
right. This would be keeping the same network of doctors, the same formulary. It would be just changing how we cover the benefits. Instead of paying a copay, it'd be subject to a town-funded deductible, basically. And I can tell you, if a municipal consortium was a better option, I would be here talking to the employees about a municipal consortium. And the reason why all the towns, villages, counties on this sheet aren't doing it is because it would be more expensive for them. But,
Yeah, and we're still in that information, like we
Yep.
sessions we had earlier, I sat in on one of them, and we made sure everyone knew, like, this is just a information sharing, part of this. And we wouldn't even consider putting anything in until the end of the year. We want to make sure everyone was on board, we even do that, but we could also do platinum and bronze.
Yep.
We don't have to do. We can-
Replace our
we have
gold plan.
3 plans.
I would replace, 3 I think would be overwhelming. I think you replace the gold with the bronze and just do bronze and platinum. The reason why, the people who are on the gold plan, I feel from talking to some of them, they went because it was less expensive. The bronze plan would just be taking that 2 steps further. It would be even less expensive. We're funding the deductible right now on the gold plan, just like we would be on the bronze plan. It just would be taking it a further step with more savings and lower premiums, basically. And I think you can offer too many plans where it becomes overwhelming, and I think 3 would be overwhelming. I think 2 is the perfect number for you guys.
And the bullet points, the carry in for the recording, all that stuff, again, is 46%
Right now,
of your, less for the employee on their paycheck. And then 0 copay. And from a town standpoint, it's not for sure, but when it's presented that you have a $1.4 million health insurance expense, and that could come down to 732,000. I think it
Yeah,
was.
yep. And the thing
Something to consider, I
Yep.
guess, is
But you gotta put
all
the
we're
money
at.
in,
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah,
money
put money in.
over, if you're not.
the first year
you're
would not, so we
saving.
can't say
Right.
that because the first year we have to put it
Away.
away in the HR.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah, you gotta start somewhere.
Right,
there's
exactly.
somewhere. So it's not savings right off the bat.
And
It's
we
long
can still
term.
I get
visit
what
the
you're
same
saying.
doctors.
It's Excel is
Yes.
for Excel, so
Exactly
that
the
does
same
not
plan.
change. That does not change because it's the same exact network you have now. The thing I want to mention is we're talking 2026 rates because that's the most accurate information we have now. 2027 is going to come out, but the thing is your platinum plan is going to go up and the bronze. That delta between them is still going to be there. Might not be 46, it could be 48, it could be 44, but it's going to definitely be a spread where there's savings there to fund the deductible. The other thing is that 85-17 could go up to like 87 or something like that. The town would still fund 100% of it. We just don't have the 2027 rates or plan designs yet. But the idea is there's going to be no out-of-pocket costs when you use the plan, and the premiums are going to be somewhere around 46% less. We'll have those rates when I come in September than your current platinum plan. And the idea was, hey, we're paying super high premiums right now. Is there another option that's less expensive? This would be that option. And it's not just less expensive, it would be taking the out-of-pocket costs in network out of the equation because the town would be promising to fund up to that deductible amount. So it's the closest thing we can do to self-insuring in New York State. If you're under 100 employees, you're prohibited from self-insuring. This is all in compliance and it's as close as you can get to self-insuring.
And it still covers all those test mammograms.
That's, I handed you out that comparison, so you can see, go line by line, you're gonna see those benefits are covered. It's New York State, the state regulates all this. It's how they're covered that's different.
Thank you.
Yep, and you're gonna see the gold plan, I wanna mention, the gold plan that only have like 3 people on, there's a couple things that aren't covered, but we're not talking gold, we're talking platinum and bronze.
And one more thing on that is we tried out January 2027 and it doesn't work out. People aren't happy. And go right back to where we're at now.
Yeah, it's a year election, so you're not locked in for the rest of your life. It's, and again, it's an option. And I just want to educate everybody on that option.
What it is. Anybody have more questions on that?
I just have a quick one
Yeah.
on this. So is it supposed to read 2026 and all 3?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess I'm not sure how to read that one.
So, okay, so what it is, let me just pull it out so I have it here. It should say 2026 because these are our current 2026 rates. So we have 3 plans. You have a platinum, which you have right now. You have a gold, which you have right now. These are the 2 plans we're
I
current.
got it, I wasn't reading up to the top.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
And you're either at 10% or 25. At one point we had 15, but I guess there's nobody, so you can cross that middle one out. But my point is, no matter if you're 25 or 10, the bronze is going to be right now 46% lower each pay period.
I think that was your best one.
Huh?
Your best presentation.
Maybe I should speak
Yeah,
less.
third one.
Well, the third one's a charm.
Less is more.
I mean, I really do appreciate that because, like I said, it's no different for you, right? As our
I have no skin in the
Broker,
game.
right? Yeah.
I have no skin in the game. My life doesn't change if you keep the platinum plan or everybody moves to the bronze. My job is to show you how you save money and reduce costs, and this is the blueprint. And it's not something that I'm pulling out of the sky. This is what a lot of towns and villages are doing and have done. Some of our clients have done this for 15 years. And the savings is, over that period, is pretty significant. Why? Because that money that used to go to the insurance company is staying with the town. They're reimbursing, but they don't use 100% of that reimbursement. We haven't had a group yet. Never happened. No, I mean, but again, could it happen? I guess it could, but again, that would mean everybody on the plan would have to hit their deductible, which is, you guys would have bigger issues, like no workforce. Yeah, no problem.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Ian,
thank
for
you, Ian.
coming.
So keep me in the loop, and happy to answer any follow-up questions. And
spring flies by. We'll be talking. We'll be back to budget season. Right?
yeah, I usually come down in August,
Yeah, real-
and then in September when the rates actually come out. But again, if there's a need for another informational session, I'm happy to do that too.
Thank you, Ian.
Appreciate
Yep,
it.
thank you.
Want to stay
Thanks,
for the rest of the meeting, or
Respectfully decline.
Maybe if we had snacks.
Fine.
I know. I thought about snacks too, my bad. I did.
Thank you.
Yep.
After this weekend snacks, I need no more snacks.
Really.
All right, take care.
Take care, Ian.
Thanks.
See you later.
Thank
you
you,
later.
Ian,
Yep.
Drive
so
safe.
much.
Thanks.
Yes.
You guys have anything? Moving while you're still?
Would you wanna go first and then I'll go so I finish signing?
Yeah, I mean,
Cause it could be me talking both times, but you could.
yeah, moving, you know, as far as moving forward with the concessionaire up in Macaulay, we've had a couple meetings on them. It was good. Judy's put a lot of work into this. And so is Chris and Kevin, and I think it's a good starting point to work with up there.
I think everybody got a copy. That's draft number 4, right, Chris?
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, and it's been a lot of work putting in there. Can I give them brief background? Is that we're looking to maybe have
Absolutely, yeah.
concessions up at the mountain in the summer when we're open to, because one of the biggest things is you can't buy a bottle of water up there when you go ride the chair. You can't, there's nothing else to have. So Chris and Kevin came to us and we thought it was a pretty cool idea, so we put together a lease agreement, and now it's up to the board to look at it and maybe get an eagle eye on it and
Send it
see
over
what
to a lawyer to
happens.
look at.
Yeah,
I looked
I
at
think it's a great idea.
draft 3 and then draft 4. Well, it's
Draft 4 came today.
Short-term rental was 12 of them, remember?
Yeah,
13,
I know. So,
So this is great still. So
Yeah.
just from my own personal thought, there wasn't really anything too glaring in it. I thought it was really well done. Kudos to you and those guys up there. I know both of you worked on this, and
Yeah,
Chris had a lot of
Chris, yeah.
input.
Is it full kitchen setup? I mean, is it?
It's the same kitchen, we're not
Same.
moving, we're using what we
Winter.
have,
Yeah.
yeah, so there won't be
and
any.
there's like some operating months where like you know, you guys can answer that too. if you want.
Yeah, so the operating months will be prime, there's months like now, but there would be no one up there, so we wouldn't charge rent for this month. There's a couple months where we wouldn't do that, but let's say a birthday party or someone came up and they used the concessionaire, they went up and they cooked for them, then there would be a little bit coming over, but not the full rent thing. So make it good for everybody involved that way, so that at least we have an option up there.
Is there somebody interested in doing it?
Well, no,
Oh, yeah.
we have to do this first, then put it out to
Okay.
bid and get interviews and all that kind of stuff. This is step number 1.
But
This
I-
does push it to year-round service though,
Right.
and I don't think there's anything in there for it to be broken. Anybody, like, meaning somebody do the winter, somebody do the summer and fall.
No, this is for someone to go up and do
So it's
this.
the
Yeah,
same,
Yeah.
yeah.
same person on a yearly lease.
And it's written for 1 year right now to see how it goes too.
Yeah, so we kind of need to
Yeah.
get some number feedbacks and see how it actually operates and goes before.
Right.
It's user-friendly too. Startup is really difficult, you know, especially when this is a whole new thing that'll be there for restaurants or any business at this point. So.
Correct.
So I think with it being in that latest draft in everyone's box over there, maybe there's a potential we could, you know, kind of go out to bid maybe like in the May.
May would be very
May would be-
helpful.
I know there was talk about, you know, spring, summer, and I just think that'd be putting anybody in a really difficult position. Liquor license, just like health permits, sometimes they need to. I think we'd be
Doing the
setting up
bar too in the
perfectly.
summer?
Oh, yeah, so if
Yeah.
we could get it out where people can come in, they might be able to run come June or July, we'll see. What do they already host, right, what they have?
Just brought it.
Chris, do you have any input back there?
I have a lot of input.
Good, I like that about
You
you.
all sure, right? So specifically on time frame, I mean, I think it would be awesome if we could look at it yesterday, right? So that's just the, I mean, I would love to have a review and you know, I mean, ideally, by time frame, I would love to have everybody look at it and talk about it next Tuesday, but I know that's probably not gonna happen in quicker time, so maybe for the following month. We do have rentals coming up this summer, so I think Judy put together a good, some good clauses in, to cover for the people that may have already made plans, or I'm sure have made plans.
Yeah, for weddings and stuff.
Decided to do their wedding last year for this year, so we'll have to work around there, some tweaks in that, so.
How will that affect future?
So for, I would assume that going forward,
Yeah.
that would be the concessionaire that would, so which is what most mountains do, like Snow Ridge, Oak Mountain, you have, what's handed to you, right? I think one of the things that's cool and unique about us in a sense, or that's the twist I put on it, So we don't have that offer. So we, you know, we phrase it like, go ahead and pick your own concessions and your own food and such, but I think as I'm reading it, that would change. But this would be the summer to have flexibility, whatever that ends up looking like.
I think we would try and get it going as fast as we can, but, you know, the lawyer, you know, they're working on a few things right now. They do have the 2 of the 8 lawyers missing, returning on April 20th for them to look over the lease. But, as far as like getting it out to advertise, you're looking at, if we did do it that quickly, we'd be into May. Is that fair to advertise, you know, for people? Does that give appropriate time to people to put in their, request?
I think
proposal?
Is there like a specified minimum amount of time that something has to be run for?
30 days is pretty fair.
Yeah.
I think you could do it shorter than that, depending on the situation, but
we might be able to get someone up there in June, which would
Well, you
cover
gotta
4th of
get
July,
bids,
right,
too.
to start us, 'cause there's, right.
Somebody's gonna want
And
to.
even-
Someone's gotta wanna do it, right.
someone's gotta wanna bid on it, and I
Yeah.
can tell you, the health department and the liquor board is not gonna, in any way, shape, or form say anybody can be here by June, maybe July.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe
The liquor
July. I
board.
mean,
July,
the problem is you gotta start somewhere.
Right,
So
we've
even-
gotta start.
Even if it goes out to bid and it happens and you have someone in there doing it by the 1st of July,
right.
even if they don't have their liquor license for the first couple weeks, it is what it is.
At least we
It's the
have it
first time
for-
we're trying it.
From what I can see, I can't give you data from mountain bikes because they don't purchase anything from me, but I mean, our good season is fall,
Right,
Yeah.
right? So I think like it would be absolutely beneficial
Be
for
great.
somebody to put a bid in, even just to consume September and October
right.
for.
We gotta start, right, so let's
Gotta start
start,
somewhere.
yeah.
I don't know how appropriate it was to advertise during the winter either. With I mean, like if we were to do this prior to, like to get like.
No, I
where
think we're in a
at,
good spot, I do,
Right where we're at is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any restrictions for when they have to be open based on like the chair?
Oh, it's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's when the chairlift's, when we're open, yeah, they've got
It's
it.
actually in the lease.
It's in the lease.
Rates when the chairlift operates at the moment.
At a minimum.
At a minimum.
Yeah,
You know, cause we close.
they
at-
could always do, like was done in the past, if they choose, like, to say that they wanna do Friday night dinners, they could, you know, we didn't say that they can't. So, but they have to at least be open when the chair's running, so,
We'll try and get it going as quick as we can. Get it out there and everything. Really, if the board is okay with the lease that's been provided, you know, Kyle can take a look at it.
Yep.
We'll get it over to the lawyer, and hopefully they can get it back as soon as they can.
Tommy would be the last one that I sent that says, take
Take
4.
four.
Take 4, not draft 4, take 4.
But take 4 is pretty good.
I thought
Right.
3 was solid with a couple. That's the first one I saw, and I thought you guys did a nice job.
Well, thanks Chris for all the input, Ben,
Yeah.
everybody.
Thanks, Judy.
Okay, all right, I have one more thing for Parks and Rec, our ongoing thing, so I'm gonna read this so that I wanna say this clearly. The Parks and Recreation Committee, consisting of Councilman Ross, myself, and the Parks and Rec Manager, Hannah Wheaton, would like to start board discussion on a possible new lease agreement for the George T. Hildebrandt Recreation Center. This new rental agreement includes important terms and policy designed to protect both town and renter for future use, as well as proposed rental rates that consolidate pricings to a flat fee structure. The new proposal rental fees are structured to provide a preferred rate for supporting the taxpayers within the town of Webb. Public comments will be welcomed if we should decide to hold a public hearing and board proceeds further with revisions. After multiple committee meetings and doing a cost analysis, the committee found that all inclusive operating costs for a full day on average $207.13. The breakdown for a typical 2-hour booking, which is what most people book for, is $51.78. Our proposed lease agreement for the Town of Webb residents and the Town of Webb nonprofit would be $50 per day with a $500 refundable deposit. Whereas non-Town of Webb residents or nonprofits not within the town would pay a day usage fee of $100 per day with a $500 refundable deposit. For-profit businesses or organizations would pay a daily usage fee of $200 per day, which we don't have a lot of those, but it would be the same $500 refundable security deposit. Kitchen usage fee will remain the same at $50 a day. So this makes it flat, easy, and I think beneficial for all of us that live in the town.
Is that just for the
So-
building or for the use of the fields?
That we don't, the fields are not,
So that's not included?
no, no, we don't, the fields, I mean, Hannah's here, so go ahead, Hannah, talk about the fields.
Yep, so currently we have a contract that when you use the fields, you have to rent them out. Right now, there's no fees, but you have to do a COI, certificate of insurance, let us know the dates and times that you're using them. That way we can properly supply everything that we need to. Right now, we only have a couple that have been acquired for that. ASO has done it in the past, the school is doing it, the league is doing it this year, and I think there's a youth softball that might be, but they also are working with the school, so.
So the fields really, there's no usage fee for those, it's just our. So, yeah,
I'm curious as to how you're gonna, separate residents, what will be the qualifier for the residents versus?
proof of
The address.
residency, address, yeah.
So if people have property here. and
Are they a resident
don't-
here, though?
I mean, that's my question, so you're looking for like a,
Residency is usually if you vote.
Yeah.
You know, if you're registered to vote in this town.
so you're gonna have a lot of people that we know aren't registered, I'm just playing the
That's
devil's
usually how we
Yeah.
determine primary residence in the
Yeah.
assessor's office.
So you're not separating second home ownership from primary? You're
That
not
was where I'm
separating
going
that.
on that.
So
Just if you're a resident, right?
So Judy's letter is really well done, and
Right.
this policy is spot on. The work you did is fantastic. But we just got this pretty much, I don't know, a couple hours ago. I think I saw like somewhat of the policy you guys have been working on. So
Yeah,
we'll
we
take
were
some
gonna-
time to look into all that stuff and figure out
Right, this was for
what
board
makes sense
discussion.
and get it
Yeah,
over.
this
to
will
the-
be for board discussion, but again, it's one of those things, I think the sooner we
Hot
look at it,
topic.
the less,
Yeah.
yeah, we get this settled, we'll be in better shape.
Get that over to the lawyer, and then and like I've been saying since day one, this is in due to getting up with the times.
Yeah.
On the rec center being used the way it's being used now, we're a little behind times after getting
That
that,
never was
that
used like
place
this.
to this, up to where it's at now.
And we do have
Job
another
well done.
committee, so that they know, that's looking at maybe a better way to heat it, and to not heat it, because the heating that's in there, but to keep the heat in it, I guess would be, there's a whole nother
Consider
committee.
insulating the building, I mean,
It's
I don't know if
tricky,
we
it's myself, Scott Gaffney, Mike Ross, and Dave Kleps, and Hannah.
Hannah.
And we're just doing a whole nother research on what is there, maybe there's nothing, we don't know, maybe there is something,
Make
right?
it more efficient.
Right, to make it more efficient. And then if that happens, then down the road, these prices, of course, could get adjusted too, if we could figure out a way to make it more efficient.
We did some really good studies on it with clean energy studies and all that. I know that you had just gotten here, so they had a pretty big document they provided to us on what we could do there.
Right.
And that led to the heating system wasn't worth doing. Putting in anything electric was going to be wacky for them. Mike was in on this with us, so we just kind of left it as is. One of the things we did get done was the insulated doors. That was
And then we got the.
That was a
big
grant- that was a
overhead
grant
Remember,
doors,
it's
uninsulated.
it's a monstrous
Right
metal
underneath.
building.
Oh, it does, you know,
we
and
looked into the garage overhead doors years ago, and we were gonna, with Tower Construction, when we put the fans in, we were gonna put these panels up that went against those garage doors, those overhead doors. And we chose to do the fans, and the cameras and the key fob system instead, because those were so expensive. This must have been.
and those panels
3 years
get
ago now.
attached on the outside, so
2
then
years.
if
We
you
finished
have
it 2
an
years
event
ago.
that has to go in there, you gotta take
Personal
them
board.
down to open the doors.
Garage doors
It
were-
is,
those
there's,
overhead doors
we're
were-
learning a lot.
Yeah, forget it.
Crazy.
They were like
So
30
we'll
grand a
see.
door or something.
Yeah, those new,
remember that.
new doors would be beyond
So,
cost efficient.
It's almost impossible to change the degree in there
Right,
that's worth it.
right.
It'd
And then
take
the
forever to
safety
pay it off.
issue with the ice that accumulates on the end of it, the safety issue is another big thing we're looking at, the ice that comes at the end.
Massive.
So that's a more of a priority problem.
Right, and that's a safety issue, which we really are looking into that very
Yeah.
seriously.
They hold on.
Good. So, that's
so-
it.
Well, I love the idea that it stays open year round.
Oh,
for
yeah,
use,
oh,
you know.
yeah.
Totally go through it.
Don't wanna ever, no.
Prices are very fair, and then this gives any of these organizations plenty of time
Heads
to figure out how they're gonna come up with $50 a day, which it seems silly, but sometimes that's hard. So job well done on that, and we'll look it over, and another thing we gotta get over for review from the lawyer.
Alright.
Mike, you got anything?
Well, we got a couple things that was put in front of me. Don, am I supposed to mention
you can talk
anything about?
that. That's
Mike Farmer gave us this, you guys, that is supporting the, Cappy Duck deal.
Oh, okay.
Guys, I don't know if you saw that, look at it.
I did not.
You're supposed to do a heads up on
trail
it.
pass, right?
Yeah. Macaulay Pass or a trail pass, is that what the two things? Is that what we did before?
Oh, to give one away.
To give one
For
away.
the-
It's
yeah,
a
for the
winning
duck
thing.
For the duck derby.
I'm in favor.
I'm in favor of
Yeah,
it.
I'm in favor of it, as long as the department heads are in favor of it,
Yeah.
yeah. It's fine.
I'm assuming we did we do that last year? I don't even know.
I
I
don't
didn't
know.
sit here last
what-
year, so I can't answer.
We didn't do, I just still wording in that, we didn't do a pass, a season's pass, which is like $300 versus,
You did a one-day pass?
we came up with a comparable gift certificate. Because if I'm not mistaken, trail passes are like $80,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, a season's pass at Macaulay is $300 for an adult.
Right, I follow what you're saying.
Yeah, so.
Oh, that would be
You guys
good.
do that? You did a comparable gift certificate.
Yeah,
Perfect, that
It's not a
works.
season.
Sound good?
That works?
yeah, man, gotta keep the same
Yeah.
value probably.
Sounds good.
It's way cheaper to snowmobile than the town of Webb is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is everywhere.
Yeah,
On
everywhere.
this Monday, all right? Mike, you have anything else? We'll go ahead and.
No, I guess in this, Don, that was just a,
Yeah, just an FYI.
you guys,
That's the FYI.
for the,
I hate having to wear two pairs of glasses.
for the gazebo,
Oh,
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yep,
a new addition to the beach out there for
yep. Which will,
lifeguards and whatnot.
in the end, cost a lot less than replacing 10 by 10 tents every week that got blown and cracked and, yeah.
yeah.
Thank you. No, I don't think I have anything.
I got a couple
I don't have
things.
things probably.
Did we talk about snowmobile, the permit?
Oh, that's right, yeah,
Yeah.
you go ahead.
Yeah, I guess like we met with them there, and it was a good meeting with everyone, and we all kind of decided to, keep the 7-day permit and the full year permit, and get rid of the weekday only permit, just because of, there's only 300 of them totally sold, but it's hard to get rid of and just have a year-long permit when we sell 2,000 7-day permits. So that's kind of what we came up with. We don't want to.
That was when you had the inlet, the committee meeting?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
This-
And there was a
again,
bunch of
this-
other stuff we
This is
discussed. but it
board
was good.
discussion stuff, but those are the things that we
Yeah,
discussed
we
at
discussed.
our committee meeting with Inlet.
Sounds great.
Kind of,
Whatever we change, we have to do, it has to be agreed with
Hey,
Inlet and
yeah.
Health Forge.
Correct.
but those were the discussions we had, and kind of all on the same page with it.
I know that did you guys talk about the trailer registration thing at all?
No, because that's more of
It's more us.
and
So that was,
then-
put it in the back of everyone's head here as we move into it, but like trailer, snowmobile trailer / boat trailer. Cause they can be pretty wild too, all across town. I don't know.
yeah.
We got this great publicity office that's used to registering the snowmobile permits, doing it whatever way they do. Maybe that could move into registering some stuff in the spring, summer for the boat trailers that are
Because
left
even
around town.
liability, maybe I'm wrong, but people parking on town property.
It's my
we can-
biggest thing.
Yeah, so we
Well,
really have to do a little
They get parked there and
exploring
get
on that.
stolen. Who's liable for it? If we've
liable.
got-
Right, that blew up, obviously, from when we started. It was supposed to be a convenience for the people that were up here for a week or whatever to be able to
Yeah.
put a spot, and then all of a sudden, boom, everybody and their brother put their trailers there that lived here and didn't want them on their own yard.
Right.
Just getting with the times. It was a nice
Nice.
compliment to our visitors, and I think there were
Yeah.
some residents that might have been putting them over there too. But anyway, maybe we can get them registered.
I mean, we, you know, it's our own fault. We opened it up and we didn't really make it.
But it happens
Work.
a while. I think just things that happen and then people just keep doing the same and it's no one's fault. It's just that life progresses and we're into something else and we forget to look back sometimes.
Yeah, I think that's a
So-
discussion we should have with Alexis and
Yeah.
that department, cause that would probably fall under them
Yeah.
to do.
Okay. Good.
Right,
I
and then
mentioned it to the chief too, that,
we also, because of the dates of the events and stuff, we have to figure that out because we need the parking. We don't have any parking for our events when that's full
They
of
don't have to be
trailers.
written up. You guys will have to do.
Gets involved, but we certainly do it.
We're doing a lot of stuff. It's great.
Moving along.
Yep.
The Northern Forest Canoe Trail, along with John Callahan, Hudson River, Black River Regulating District, is going to be here Thursday. I sent you guys a thing. Kyle's going to be there. Kirk might come over because he was a part of a lot of the stuff
Okay.
back in the day. And you know, they're thinking about putting just moving the access. It's been suggested to just go right over there because you can walk in. They can move the steps right over there.
we're talking about doing the temporary or doing a handicap over there.
So
Easy, but
I'm gonna see what they have, and the temporary could move into. Does it make more sense to just have it over there, with being able to pull up down there? Some more questions I have for them. You know, they obviously cut some trees down, but the Tioga. I talked to John, the executive director, because property owner right there reached out about how far out those barricades are. I said they're as far out as they could go with this major project they have. The property owner said, well, can they park down at North Street? I was like, oh man, see what I can do. So I'm trying my best, but if you go over there, if you're parked in front of the factory store, in front of the Pied Piper on like the food window side, like a vehicle can't really go behind, the garbage truck can't really go behind. I'd like to see those barricades come in a little bit more. I just don't know what kind of,
Safety.
pull up.
It'll be an interesting summer. We thought they were gonna be working on it throughout the winter, but.
Right.
yeah, but
Nothing.
So they're, it's a 2-year program. I will talk more about this Tuesday, and then John is going to come to, I think May, if we do the second Monday meeting. I think he's going to come to that and
Are we gonna start that?
answer some. If
May.
we would start that in May, if we get on the agenda here Tuesday.
All right.
So
the
someone
second
to probably
meetings.
talk to would be Richard Bird, because I believe he's renting a lot to them for some space for their mobile concrete plant.
Okay.
As
And they're.
mentioned, I'm not, I mean, it was talk, so I'm not.
I'll remind everybody again on Tuesday. They're going to have an office right next to Tony Harper's on Main Street.
So
So they're going to be able to. Yeah, they're already there. Yeah, so you can go over there. And,
hey, what the heck?
maybe it'll help the working on there.
It's gonna be tough over there in that area for the summer. It's not gonna be easy.
The temporary launch is over by Pine Knoll, right? Down by the
Yeah.
side
Right.
area.
That's
The canoe
temporary.
trail.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to talk about Thursday.
So to
So
block off
Is
a
that
little
walkway
bit.
gonna be removed to the other side of the dam, or the one that goes over to Water's Edge,
Well, we get
where boats dock? I mean, are they gonna be
Oh, yeah.
able to dock there, the second where they go?
no, we've got some.
no, they're not going to be able to do that this year.
We've gotta get
So there's gonna
signs.
be no docking over on that whole side.
We should make note of that,
Think of that.
that we'll need signs.
Have they said how it's?
Yeah, I'm going to talk to him on Thursday.
Or beach?
Yeah.
It's not supposed to
Tuesday, I'll make it
affect.
very known.
So that the corner when we
They're
first talked to them
starting.
last year, just be like this. They might close
Yeah.
off this
It's
far
gotta happen.
corner
It's
here,
gotta happen.
You know,
but it's not going to affect everything.
But like the height of the water or anything?
No, their plan is to keep they're putting a coffer dam so that the water stays at the
Supposedly,
same
no.
height so that they can work on it. So there's the water hopefully will be,
The same.
Cause that affects float lines and permit and all.
yeah.
this is
And then, no.
But they know what they know what it means to keep the water at the same
They
level.
did say that at the,
yes, they will. And when it comes to looking ahead, this will be like a little, I don't know, prerequisite, whatever you want to call it, for if we do get into the sewer. Because I mean, roads and Main Street are all going to be tore up, and it's going to be really frustrating, and it's got to be well planned out, and it's going to be one of those what can you do things. Like I don't know how much we can do about this dam over there, the DEC. It's not even about how hazardous our dam is. Sixth Lake, not to speak on them, but that dam is in, worse shape. Ours is the spillway from the DEC, that's just, we don't have a choice, we have to do this.
Have to do it.
Well, it's important to the economy.
What's the old saying? You
Same
gotta
thing
get
with the
mad
sewer
to get
district. I
glad.
mean,
So
you gotta deal
get
with
a
it for a
little
couple
upset to
years.
get happy, I don't know.
To have it for the next 75
Not mad
years
wouldn't be
or
the word,
something,
but
so.
have to go through a little bit.
It is what it
Go with
is.
it, roll with it.
Yeah.
Something too.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I got a couple more things that,
That's it.
hey, before you go, I wanna say thank you for this. The $10,000 that I thought maybe we were gonna get 5,000 for,
Yeah.
the Adirondack
Yeah,
Community
thank you,
Foundation.
Linda.
Yeah, thanks, Linda.
That's gonna
Very good.
be great for this mass communication thing. See ya.
Thanks, Linda.
Thank you, Linda.
Thanks, Linda.
I did talk to, Lake Placid has this. And, they use 27,000 text messages by April 1st. 50,000 text messages would be $3,000 a year. And this whole thing between our employees, department heads, first responders, public service officials, surrounding neighboring communities would just be a total asset. And we can go as far as we wanna go with it, as far as we budget for, what have you. We got so much going on right now, but the money is there and we should get something going by the next, as we get into budget season. We don't have to implement it this year, but, as I said,
Yeah.
that's pretty.
Let's not wait too long to figure out what we're gonna do with
Yeah.
it, so that we're not
Yeah.
rushing.
Can do, we don't have to,
Right.
just.
I think we should implement it to our department heads, police officers and first responders. And
Definitely.
start off with that right off the bat and.
I did a little more research too, like if we wanted to add 50,000 text messages or whatever, it's $750. So it's not like if you get to, you're getting them out there and it's like, hey, this is
Getting
kind of a neat
close to it.
service but we're running out, it's $750 for more. And annually, it's annual, so the grant's 10,000.
Yep.
So Mike Ross always says grants cost money, so, always keep that in mind. It does, this is a full grant. And we can probably, apply every year if we want to, but it would be $3,000 a year at the moment.
Let's start off with
So-
$3,000.
Yeah. And then we could probably use more of that grant next year, as long as we start implementing, because we got 10 grand for the grant. So this could be just completely 100, just a full
Sure,
grant.
there'll be more thought when we get into it.
Sure. Totally on the back burner. Other thing is the employee handbook. Or if you guys don't have anything more on that, good?
I'm good with it. I wish it was printed better.
No, the mass communications thing. Good.
Oh,
The
yeah, no, I'm good with that. I thought we were going to
The employee handbook.
Close it backwards.
it's just, as everyone knows, I do have a degree in special education. That, for anyone with dyslexia or anyone with a disability to read that employee handbook the way it's printing is a disservice to our town. And I really think it should be sent out and printed correctly because it's printed upside down and backwards every other page. And honestly, I think it's really bad. That's just my opinion.
I just went through my old
And,
one, that's
and if
very
it could have
great.
been printed first, just this way and put in and printed that way
Well, we
instead.
can make
I had a hard time reading
Yeah, and I did write that on my notes when I signed it because I don't think that's fair and I am dyslexic for anyone has a disability. So that's just my take on it.
I'm the same
Shouldn't have been
It's
presented the way it was.
fixable. It's fixable.
It is fixable. It is a fixable problem. It's not a bad one.
Right.
It's
We have a
fixable.
digital version, which is.
Right, and Dawn did send that to me, but
So
yeah,
I'm curious that you said that, because I also, as I'm handing it out to all my employees and they're telling me just keep it.
yeah.
I'm thinking, really, wouldn't it be a good idea to have it?
But people have to sign off on it whether it goes I would assume, right? Either way, yeah.
Yeah.
That they
Well,
got
I
it.
can
It
share
was,
my link for the.
it was a little
What I was
crazy.
gonna say was that I don't think it would be a bad idea to have the employees have an option to accept the digital,
Mhm.
versus
Well-
printing all of that paper.
We'll fix that next.
Regardless of whether they're going to click the button
Right.
and say, yeah, I'm interested in looking at it, I mean, that's up to them, right? But there's some of us that love to have it in, because I highlight and draw arrows and make notes. But I just was curious if that's like something we could look at for next year to see if people
Jen-
wanna.
Jenny was thrown in the ringer. These printers and copy machines aren't the greatest to work with. I think she felt terrible.
Oh, and I
about
don't even
this.
know who did, I didn't even know who did it. I just said it because I just
We will,
have to
we
say
will
that. Yeah.
be on top of and we can print out we'll let the departments know if anybody wants another copy, they can come grab it.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen one of these copies.
It's a fixable
So
thing.
we will fix it. But no, what I was bringing up was the handbook. We gotta update the holidays that are in the handbook, cause it didn't have MLK Day, Juneteenth, and then those can just be put in there. The day after Christmas, I think I sent you, this was in your box.
Yep, we
got that.
Saturday
Yep.
this year.
I have it.
So we had a little, in-office discussion here, and we thought maybe Christmas Eve was okay for everybody.
I think that's really nice.
Because Christmas Day is Friday, so the day after Christmas we always get is Saturday.
It's Saturday, so.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
So we have to put that day somewhere else. It's not in here. Just wanna
Right, right,
confirm that you
right,
guys are
right,
okay with
right.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that last
And-
week, didn't we?
If we can, Tina, this
I
sheet,
just
amazing.
Yes,
Thank you.
I have more. if
Oh,
anybody
no,
needs a
this,
copy.
thank you, you
I got-
guys have gone
yeah, we got
above
that.
and,
You make copies?
Well-
Mike shared it,
Yeah.
that I made copies for all, but this,
Oh, okay, cause I didn't
Perfect.
bring copies.
Perfect.
yeah,
Awesome.
amazing, thank you.
Yeah, I did wanna say something too, Tina. I sat over there with Tina for a very short period of time today, but
Yep.
what she's going through
Oh.
this year and what she's been able to accomplish is, she shouldn't even have to do, but she's doing it, so
Amazing.
it's
Amazing. We're the
unbelievable.
best
Yeah.
we can. And thank you for saying that, and I'd also like everybody to know, everybody in the town to know while we have, cause I'm not sure I'll be able to be here Tuesday for the board meeting or not, because informals with KLW start next week in person. And we have informals scheduled till 7 if anybody comes. But the letter that went out said April 4th. Some people did not get their letters till April 4th, and some haven't even gotten them at all. Please disregard that. You can always call me at the office until April 21st at noon. I can make informal changes to the role.
Okay.
So please, anybody, reach out to me. And I'm open to come anytime, day, night, whatever works for somebody. On the weekend, whatever's necessary.
Okay, thank you, Tina.
And how much time do they have, or is available?
21st.
Till the
Till
21st.
the 21st
21st,
at noon, and I always allow a half hour. And if you can't come into the office, you can call and I can do phone appointments. So,
Yeah.
Thank you, Tina.
Perfect.
What you've done is amazing, I mean, beyond.
Well, that'll be more of a discussion for us, eventually.
yes.
Right.
Would
When-
like to
when Tina's ready.
further discuss,
When you're ready.
yeah,
Yeah.
that. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
I got more stuff.
Oh,
Okay, sorry.
I didn't mean to
Very,
take
very
over
much.
the floor on you.
That was great. Friday, I got to answer the phones on Friday. Leanna wasn't there Friday, so I was hanging out answering the phones. It was,
It was,
you did a heck of a job. How'd the rest of the afternoon go
it
without
was
her?
good. Kelly came
So
over.
Kelly came over,
Yeah,
see?
back, I was the clerk.
And it
Yeah,
was a
it's-
tag
it's,
team. It was great.
I got another text today. My taxes are going, like the estimated taxes just really in that letter. But anyway,
I
Yeah.
got a lot of them.
yeah.
And that word, that they put on that form about the taxes is so wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wrong.
So wrong. He even called and admitted to me that it was wrong, that he uses the wrong formula, so. Don't even.
Think enough on that.
Yeah.
Sewer.
Sewer.
Couple things on it. Kelly, we worked on creating this amazing document here. I'll get it over to you guys. For any sort of concerns about what it might mean for the sewer district with the burden that might bring to us, just like the stuff we talked about, Ben sat with Corey the other day. I know Mike talks to Corey regularly. We got the word out we're feeling pretty good, really good about how much we can short-term finance from a line of credit standpoint, from bonds, bans, everything involved here to where I don't see how these kind of tax implications, and I'll get this over to you. I wanted to go through it a little bit more.
Okay.
What it would affect us in the short term for just the 970K. Okay, that would be the 485 that we're responsible for, and we're just in a good spot. And EFC and the WIA grant that we could apply for through Corey. It's another thing. I don't know if anybody's gone through Corey's contract. I know it's long, but his part of it's not really that long. I had a couple of questions that I was hoping he would update. Like there's just like a couple, costs out there for us that are just out in the open, like 100K for nothing, and like going over the budget. It's a very engineer fair agreement. They prepared it. So it's not much, but hopefully we can get that. I'm hoping to get my questions ironed out the rest of the week. If you guys have any more, it'd be nice if we could authorize to sign this Tuesday. I don't know if anybody else feels comfortable with that, but I'd hope that we could get moving on that, because then part of that contract is them applying for the WIA grant and still working on the grant funding that could totally take away the concerns in this document when it comes to short-term financing and bonds and bans. So I think it's important for us to go through that. I don't know if you have any questions on that, Mike.
But that's with BCA, that's not this new one that you're doing?
This is just like this is like, hey guys, short-term financing. It also gives you some numbers in here, like 4% at 20 years. It would cost $35,687.
4%.
Is 4% the lowest that you found?
It was.
It is the lowest that you found, okay.
But there's other options that might be, we could find lower. What we had looked at, that was the lower.
Okay.
We can, there's even stuff in here about the sewer use tax fee that we currently have. Like, we can change that, we've done that the past few years. So based on like commercial and lodging, restaurants, whatever, we can update that. Campground, water park. I know the water park, we found out, what was that, been 100, they get charged for 110 units.
The campground, I think the campground's 100.
Which is probably fair, but we can just
I don't mean to interrupt, but I have those calculations in the office, cause I went through and added all the sewer units.
Yeah, Tina's a lot of help in this too. Yeah.
So please, if you have any questions, please feel free to come over and we can go over it anytime.
Yeah.
Kelly was
Thanks.
giving all the numbers out.
970 units.
Yep.
But there's 528 parcels.
And you, as the board, set the unit you make that law that sets the units. So a single family dwelling is 1 unit. If you have a 2-family dwelling, that's 3/4 of a unit, so that's 1.5. It goes from there, for each unit. Restaurants, it's 20 seats, so things vary by your local law, so.
And then I think
That's something.
without, Kyle was really concerned about a lot of this, but if we're able to play that risk game of catastrophic failure versus finding money through short-term finance, it seems that we're all kind of on board
We
with
are
that.
all on the same page.
Dawn,
with
we
that
have
one.
to-
There's
to move forward.
we have to move forward.
Dawn's done a great job with the, digging up the bonds we currently have too, that are a part of this document too. So like we know where we stand, I guess, is more than I've seen in my time to be able to feel comfortable with it. And
I'd like
Ben's,
to see that done,
Yeah.
the ones we have in debt for now.
yeah. What was I gonna say, Ben? Oh, if we were to do this, the whole plan would be to actually get a shovel in the ground this time next year.
Yeah.
And it's not the time to go out for bid or anything along those lines. It's like the end of the year, because you won't get contractors jumping at it because they want to plan for the next year.
Well, and they'd have to
Keep our
finalize
fingers
everything.
crossed.
So they said they wouldn't have everything
that's-
finished
That's
until,
reality.
was it September to be able to maybe go out to bid in October for
He made
it?
it sound like October, November.
That's the part
Yeah.
I missed.
When we were in the meeting.
Cause they still have to do all the engineering
Yeah.
and
That's the part I
planning.
missed.
And this is
Yeah.
for the 3 spots.
He was hopeful he would done with the 3 spots by the end of the year.
Yeah,
Yeah, Ben brought.
or by end of September.
Yeah.
What was it?
And Scott
So we could
and
go out to-
Alex Ross
Yep.
were both on board, because they said it's just a matter of time.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
And this hopefully will lead to the major movement into the next part of it, but.
Yeah, the next 3 spots and then Main Street.
Recently, we just closed out this has been going on since September. We'll bring this up. The EPA needed a bunch of information from us for closing of the Town of Webb Community Grant that goes back to 2023. This is like UV light, wastewater, the whole kit and caboodle.
Oh, yeah.
So that was kind of a confusing state of mind for, I think, both Dawn and I, trying to figure out what this was. But I called up Michelle at EPA, and she was super helpful. Corey was super helpful on this with us. And I just got an email from her at 3:14 that they reviewed the documents, and we are going to be eligible for the BABA waiver, which is Build America, Buy America. That kind of stuff, along with another grant that we received from EFC, which was the WIA grant. Monica Cook is another one who got a hold of us. We needed to show a quarterly report for the Minority Women Business Enterprise because this was a grant. They were also trying to close that grant out. So it was two separate grants they're trying to close out. The documentation and closing grants out goes back to what we're worried about with the Macaulay Mountain Bike Trail grant that we want to close out. So all this stuff is wrapped in the procurement, seeing where it's at. I talked to Brian earlier today, and we had a great conversation. He said April 20th they're going to have the two lawyers that were missing. One's already back, another one will be back. I made sure he knew that procurement document we had prepared for us was for us to like figure out what we wanted, how we wanted to do it. And if you could help us with that, I put in my response to the 5-page policy we were given from Brian's office and how it didn't include anything with state and federal requirements specific to the stuff that's in here. He said if you guys would like that to be added, that he was going to talk with Mary, who's doing it, and they could put that in there. I personally would like to see any further stuff I work with or anybody that comes after me would be able to go with this document and clearly see this is when you go out to bid, this is when you have to follow CFR 200, this is when you're just in general municipal law, this is when department heads can just go make it kind of just spells that stuff out there. Not to the extent of 72 pages.
No, thank you.
Yeah, but the 5 pages.
The 72 pages was very nice. There is nothing wrong with it. It's like a manual. It's a legal audit. I mean, it truly is.
Yeah,
It was very nice, but it just has to be more.
It was kind of to educate us.
Right,
Yeah,
correct.
it wasn't like
Nope,
the actual
yep.
policy.
Right.
It does help
Right?
to look back on this this update that hopefully Brian's office will give us will allow us to cover, don't forget Northern Borders
Yep.
is active. We're awarded at the moment. We just got this $10,000 award. We want to keep showing like we can handle this stuff and close it out.
Well, let's see what he comes back
So-
with. Yeah.
I think it'll be great. So yeah, I got the contract with BCA. If you guys have anything with that, and the last thing I want to touch on is the CFA, the Consolidated Fund Application. There's a little survey I created here that I want to get to you guys, and that I think would be cool to get to the general public down the road. It just shows, funding and strategic priorities survey based off the stuff that we can apply for a consolidated funding application. It's a complete game changer in the grant.
World.
Yeah. Let's say the grant scheme.
Yeah.
The grant world. You put that all out there and they're like, okay, you guys apply for 10 things. It's all, some examples in here are limited insufficient infrastructure, lack of year-round economic activity, seasonal economy, workforce gaps, aging population needs, housing availability, access and transportation limitations, tourism management growth, and environmental constraints. So it's not like, the one thing I wanted to make sure we knew, and I dug this up, was lakefront revitalization. That could be in here as was a more glamorous project. But most of this stuff is like long-term sustainability stuff. If we can get a CFA and it's in July, so we've got about a month and a half to kind of like prioritize. But if we can get that in, it's just like, okay, now we're in the system even more, and it's going to really add to any future funding. So I'll let you guys take a look at that, but I really would like to see us talk more about that maybe Tuesday and in the May meeting to figure out if we can kind of do the same thing we did here before, like, authorize to put through an application for that. So nothing is needed at the moment, and I'll share this email with you.
It's a good thing, because you're giving us a lot of stuff to look at.
Hey, trying my best, stay on top of it,
And as you know, I am going away pretty pre-planned, but I do want to tell you that I will have my computer and my phone with me, so I'm not like gone away. I'll be around.
We'll bug you, don't worry.
If you need me, I'd have no problem with that, so no problem.
To Tuesday's meeting, I've done a lot of homework, a lot of research since then. We're gonna get into the whole, speak one at a time, get away from the conversation, the debates with the public, things of that nature, and we're gonna make sure it's a little more of a collaboration between the public and us as we allow them to be heard, and also decide if we one at a time want to respond. I feel responsible for how things went at the last meeting, so hopefully I think it's my job as supervisor under the Robert's Rules of Order there to address that. I take it pretty seriously, so I'll make sure that I'm on top of that Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
That's all I got.
It's it?
Keep up with all that, Mr. Ross?
Yes, he
Yeah, kind of,
can.
but the only thing I am gonna, and maybe it isn't just tonight, but for Tuesday, if you're thinking Tuesday on some of these things, I'd like to know an order of what we need to know. Cause it's coming quick,
Yeah.
and I don't wanna be the one saying, wow, I didn't even look at that yet. Which I might be.
Oh, the only thing
At least he's always honest.
the only thing I think that might be on there Tuesday is Brian's engagement letter. Did you
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
read through that?
Yeah.
I talked to him
Oh,
about
yeah.
that today. My one question was the effective date is already passed, but we're already using him for services and
Oh,
have
yeah,
been.
yeah.
No,
So that'll be on there to authorize.
no, that's good.
I
You
did.
know, but you can't blame me for all this, Mike, because there's department heads and other people saying
Oh, no,
we
no, I'm
gotta
not
get these
blaming you
leases
for all
through.
this
We gotta
stuff.
get this bike program and stuff and things that we're working on and I don't see too much of
Let
anything.
me see, sticky note.
Yeah. Take no tape.
Put it on your forehead.
I'm usually pretty prepared.
You are very
Does
prepared.
anybody have anything else?
can I just ask if Scott's, the box for his truck?
We're all good.
Okay,
Yeah.
'cause I told him I would let him know in the morning, so.
We signed that
I think,
tonight.
Yeah, we signed
I know I signed it, okay, so
I signed
yeah,
it.
I think we're good.
Yeah, that was in the bills. Yep.
Hey, saving money,
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
repurposing.
and that's why there was a note on there, cause he didn't wanna wait 2 more weeks
No.
for bills, so that's why.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah. You know, they're the lease thing, you know, I think that's a lot to ask from now till Tuesday. But
Oh, for the mountain?
yeah, I mean,
We're looking
Yeah.
at May. Unless, I personally would like just a little bit of a legal eye on it, cause as Chris and I said, we are not attorneys, nor do we play one on TV. So, we did the best we could, so.
Well, there's a lot involved with that, I think. you know,
There is,
mean,
and I
there's-
think that everybody should take we've come this far, let's do it right.
Right.
Instead of going back and saying and then going backwards, let's just do it right. I'm all for doing things right. the
And it's a
first time
starting
if we-
point.
If we can.
So even if it
Sometimes
is a little
things
bit
happen.
late, it is what it is.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
a
no,
start
that's
of
fine.
But if we
something
can
new.
get it
that'll
through
be
for
good.
May and get it out there and get someone maybe up there by July, we'd be in good shape. So,
what happened to brief?
hopeful.
I'm surprised that.
Okay.
Well,
No,
I'm the one who got kicked out.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm
We're
good.
all set, right?
We're good.
are we all set?
You have anybody?